Today, you will hear how a shelter turned from a mud pit into a beautiful garden. Hi everyone, and welcome to Saving America's Pets. I'm Holly Sizemore, and this is our fabulous co-host, Rose. St. Tammany Parish in southern Louisiana has gone through an amazing transformation since 2019. Just look at these numbers. In 2021, St. Tammany Parish eliminated almost all of the euthanasia of cats in the shelter, thanks to a successful community cat program as well as community collaboration. In 2019, the shelter went from euthanizing 247 adult unsocialized cats to 0 in 2021. In 2019, 478 kittens, many neonatal, lost their lives. But in 2021, that number dropped to just 6, and those were terminal cases. And look at that save rate going from 34% to a whopping 93%. However, there are more benefits not even shown on this chart, like a new positive perception by the community, increases in staff morale, and networking and collaboration that will undoubtedly grow the momentum to a no-kill nation by 2025. Our guest today is Robert Bremer, the shelter director in St. Tammany Parish. Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for being here, Robert.
Thank you.
Tell us about your history working in animal welfare.
I've been working in animal welfare since 2014. I started as an animal control officer, loved the job, had come out of the military, wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And after about 2 years of working as a field officer, I was promoted to the animal control supervisor. Did that for about 5 years. And at the beginning of last year, I was appointed the director of this department.
Well, congratulations.
In 2019, things weren't so great. It was a dark time. We had started, we didn't want to euthanize animals, so we started warehousing essentially. And the problems that come with that are very, very large problems. So our community had actually started protesting against us. At first they didn't want us to euthanize. And then, when we reacted and we said, okay, well, we won't euthanize, we started just keeping everything. And the problem was we didn't have outcome solutions. So you can say, yeah, we won't euthanize anything, but if you don't have active outcome solutions, you're kind of in the same boat, right? Our new administration was coming in, they saw the need for change. They heard the people, absolutely, 100%. And they reached out to Best Friends. They said, hey, look, we need some help. Can you guys come do an assessment, with our staff, with our shelter? And Best Friends came out. I met people like Scott Giacapo and Nick Walton and Leah, and just all these wonderful people that said, hey man, it's going to be all right. We're going to figure this out. One of the things that I always focused on was, when Best Friends initially came, I came from that mentality of there aren't enough homes. That mentality is the worst mentality to have, because there are, and it's just reaching those homes and getting into those situations and really telling people, hey, look, there's another way. I think the key to it all is saying, okay, well, let's try it. If it doesn't work out, then well, we'll figure something else out. But saying let's try it to something, as opposed to saying that'll never work, will get you infinitely farther when you're trying to actively save lives, as opposed to just going on how it's always gone on. After the protests, and after Best Friends came, and met with us and met with Penny at the time, they started consulting with me as far as what field services could do to help what's going on. And, some of the first things that we started was, returning in the field more regularly, spending the extra 10 to 15 minutes knocking on some doors instead of just driving back to the shelter, and by all these small steps that the National Shelter Management Team had brought to us. And, they're former ACOs, these guys have done the same exact thing I've done, and there was a relatableness to them that helped me believe, okay, this can definitely work. This can and slowly but surely the results started showing up because we had less animals coming in, we had more animals going out, and we said, this works so great. Let's keep this up. What? Why can't we do this? And it wasn't hurting. There was no public safety issue. None of the animals that we weren't returning were public safety issues. The public saw the decrease in euthanasia, obviously, because our kennel counts aren't high. We're actively trying to return animals in the field to their owners. And then comes the community cat program after we finally get that up off the ground, with the help of Leah and everybody at Best Friends and our legal department and the administration support and Big Sky's support. So we start getting that off the ground, and we said, who has the highest mortality in our shelter? It's cats. It's always cats, right? We said we got to do something about this. And the community cat program, we finally tuned it just to fit our little section of the earth, and it has been such a success, y'all. I mean, well, you guys did see the numbers. The numbers don't lie. We're saving a vast majority of the cats that enter our shelters' lives through the community cat program. And it's done so much for us. And like I'm not really a numbers guy, I'm a very situational moments guy, but I have situational moments every day where I'm empowered, by my community, by my administration, by my staff to say yes to life saving, and that's not something everybody can say. These concepts, they don't come overnight, and it takes time to get used to them.
And tell me, how has the staff reacted?
The staff's morale has been amazing. If you told me one day that I would walk in here and everybody would be more or less smiling in a government municipal shelter, I would laugh in your face. We had we call it the courtyard at our shelter. It's between the actual kennel facility and the front lobby area building. And it was essentially a sloppy mud pit. And with everything that's changed here, we would often kind of stand around there and complain and, bicker and moan about everything. And we've turned it into a quintessential, it's a little garden. It's a nice little peaceful area now, and it's very allegorical, I guess you could say, because it used to be much like the shelter, a very dismal place, a very bland. And I mean, there were obviously, everybody here cares about animals, but it could be very demoralizing to be here, especially on Thursdays, you know what I mean? And now, people gather around over there, and you don't really hear too much of that anymore. You hear people talking about success stories, little happy endings. Adoptions are celebrated, fosters are celebrated, volunteers are celebrated. It's such a different work environment.
That's such a beautiful story, a representation of how you transformed your workplace culture from a mud pit to a beautiful garden. I love that. And there's a lot to say about your leadership in that, because I know that's not an easy thing to do. How have you worked to continue to learn as a leader?
As some people may know who are watching this, I actually am a graduate of the executive leadership course that Southern Utah University and Best Friends put on. I learned so much in that course, and it was a time commitment. It was on top of everything else going on. But what I found in that was a support base and the camaraderie that I needed, and not just camaraderie. I mean, a vast amount of knowledge and wisdom. I felt like I was amongst my peers, even though I knew most of these people that I was in this course with were vastly more scholarly than me. Just wonderful people, just fountain of knowledge. And I'm part of that community now. And when I have a problem that I have no idea how I need to solve, I can dip into that ether, and I can trust that somebody there will have some kind of insight into my problem. I don't think most people think that being a leader of an animal shelter is too hard of a job, and
Oh,
the the emotional toll, the physical toll, the spiritual toll of those things, and having a band of people that have gone through all of this, or are going through, or are about to go through all of this, and all of their insights and all of their experiences are you're able to tap into those.
well, thank you so much for your resiliency, your persistence, and your leadership. It's been really nice talking with you.
Thank you, Holly. It's been nice talking to you too.
With the combination of an open and positive leader, the right training, and a community invested into life-saving, we can help every shelter in every community achieve a 90% or higher save rate by 2025, because together we can save them all.